Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to part 2 of my Ferrari special Hammer Time in partnership with Bonhams and the Market by Bonhams. Now in part 1 we had a really good look around and even got to experience driving that stunning Ferrari Dino 246 GT behind me. In this episode we need to embrace our inner Magnum PI, because this one's all about that absolutely stunning 308 GTS. Now, if you tuned in to episode 1 of my 2-part Ferrari special, when we were talking about the Dino, we said that the Dino was made up until 1974. And in 1975, along came the 308. And they actually made the 308 up until 1985. But for me as a kid growing up, I absolutely loved the TV show Magnum PI. And of course, Magnum was well known for driving one of these, a Ferrari 308, around Hawaii with his Hawaiian shirt on. A genius bit of product placement, because at the time, for me, a 308 was a Ferrari. Now, interestingly, every series of Magnum, they actually changed the car and auctioned the car off at the end of each series. So it was a different car throughout the whole running of Magnum, which ran from 1980 to 1988. They just auctioned it off and changed the number plate. Now, this, just like the Dino, came in 2 flavours. A GTB, for B stood for Berlinetta, which was the coupe format. So that is a Berlinetta Dino. And then this, the GTS. And the GTS had a removable Targa section of roof. Now, we're being very brave today because there is a little bit of rain in the air and we've got the roof off, because I really want to experience and listen to what's underneath here, because what's under there is really special. Bodywork of the 308, again designed by Pininfarina. The very early cars actually had a glass fibre reinforced body, which made them very lightweight. This isn't one of those. But there were then 3 variants. So the first 308s in here had a 2.9 litre V8 with twin choke Weber 40 carburettors, producing 255 horsepower. In 1980, they then brought out the GTB or GTS I, and that had a fuel injection system. But bizarrely, because of emissions regulations, the horsepower dropped to about 205 horsepower. Can you imagine that happening today? It just wouldn't happen. And then the 3rd generation of 308 was called the Quattro Valvoli, because that had 4 valves per cylinder, hence the name. And that raised the horsepower back up to 255 horsepower. So this is an early car, GTS, without the fuel injection, so twin choke carbs, and I can't wait to hear what it sounds like. It's quite special in there as well. Very rural around here. Chainsaws in the background, and Gigi's riding past. Lovely. Oh, just there we go. Now then, this isn't actually the first 308 I've sat in or driven, because on Vintage Voltage we converted one of these to run on a 450 horsepower Tesla drivetrain, which upset the internet. So first of all, again, beautiful car, nut and bolt restoration, lovely interior. My feet are canted off to the left quite a bit. The kind of inner wing and front wheel are just here. Very iconic gauges, rev counter on the left, odometer on the right, and then you've got kind of oil and temperature gauges and so on. Such a simple steering wheel, none of this kind of Manatino switch. It's just 3 spokes, prancing horse in the middle. What a view. And then you've got that, the iconic gated shifter. Again, dog leg, first back towards you, and then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And all the switch gear, you've got the prancing horse here, just a really special place. Oh my days. And we are going to be brave. We're going to go with the roof down and have a drive. But yeah, very, very special. And I think for me, this is one of those, as I've mentioned, the first supercar that really came into my consciousness. And, you know, following the car here today, it's got such a presence on the road, and there's a lot of family DNA in the back of the car. When you look at the light clusters and you look at the the way that's styled. And then you look at something like a modern day 812 Superfast or something, there's a very, very big overlap in terms of design ethos. And I just think that's really, really cool. But right, let's get some cameras set up and take this for a drive. Come on. Okay, here we are in the Ferrari 308. I am Tom Selleck. Oh wow. First experience of that iconic open gated shifter that you get in a Ferrari. Now I have gone for the roof down, which I might well live to regret because of the wind noise, but I don't care. Now the cabin is a little bit cramped. I'm in 4th gear and my right knee is squashed between the steering wheel and the gear lever. I don't care, because this is just the most, oh boy, having a moment driving a car that I grew up lusting after. There was just something about a 308. There's the TV connect. Oh, it's much better when you get into 5th. Now, just in terms of the way this car's set up, talking to Tim, the owner, who, by the way, is the MD of the market. So this car was sold through the market, but Tim owns the market. He started it. But it's just been to QV, and I filmed with QV during Vintage Voltage, and they were amazing. When we did the 308 conversion, oh, that's lovely, that is. They provided some brake bits and some suspension bits. And it's just been and had all the carburettors tuned. So it's a carburetted engine and it just sounds magnificent. Oh boy. Sometimes there's a part of me thinks, you know, when you look at real classic cars like this, you just think, oh, I wonder what they're like. What would they like to be having in your garage when you have such a car with iconic status? The noise. Oh boy. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, going back, sorry, I had a slight moment there. Going back to the, so yeah, to set the all the carbs up and so on. Really, really beautiful car. Tim was also saying purists out there, and we know how purists on the internet love to pick faults in things. Apparently these early cars, whoa, seriously mate? I don't want to be crashing this. It's not mine and it's worth a lot of money. Yeah, they had the smaller wheels, actually similar size wheels to the Dino. And now we're in a kind of more built up area. My heart rate starts to raise a little bit because, you know, you're driving a really very, very expensive car through a built up area and it's narrow and don't want to damage it in any way. Thank you very much. Look, he's giving way. Ah, the Cotswolds sure is pretty. It may not be a Hawaiian island. I may not have my Hawaiian shirt on. And I've got more of long stubble and a nice big bushy moustache. But I am harnessing my innermost Magnum here. And it's great. It's a friendly car. You get some real looks. Now, one of the things about this gated shifter I'm noticing is you really have to make a very concerted effort to swap the cogs to get into the different gears. With it being a dog leg, we don't see dog legs that often in manual cars anymore, but it was a racing thing because on a racetrack that kind of third and second was a gears that you used quite a bit. You didn't often go down into first. So dog leg back left is first, and then you've got second and third. The problem with that is you're so used to in your kind of normal car, bottom left will be second, so when you're going into first, you're kind of very tempted to push it up. The challenge with this car is you'd go into reverse, and I'm sure that would do horrible things to the gearbox. It's actually quite an easy car to drive. No power steering, obviously, from the time we didn't have that. Power steering, airbags, don't need any of that modern day rubbish. But it is quite an easy car. I'm quite laid back just to give me the kind of the room I need. As I said, the gearbox and steering wheel just a little bit cramped for my, you know, unnaturally long legs. Hopefully we'll kind of get a bit more of an open road shortly. Oh, big truck. But when you just open those carbs and you hear that V8 behind, it's such a whoa. Gearbox has got a really nice change to it actually. Brakes feel pretty good. Oh boy, it's quite a tight and twisty road this, so kind of looking for a bit of kind of open road to really open up and give it some beans. It's not a massively fast car, 250 horsepower. My Mini Roadster's got more power than this car. But actually that's not what it's about. Back in the day, I'm sure it was as fast as anybody would have thought, but nowadays, compared with the kind of ridiculous powers that modern day cars have, this car isn't about power, it's not about speed. It's about how it makes you feel, it's about the noise, that visceral engagement of the car. And let's face it, it's also about how it looks, because this car looks absolutely amazing. Oh, here we go, bit of national speed limit road. So I'm going to change at 6. Oh, that snickety gear change. Ah, there we go. Good road sign. Road twisting to the left, then to the right. Just make sure I'm in the right gear, don't want to over rev it. Oh. When I woke up this morning, the rain was falling from the sky and the weather forecast was going to be horrible. And the gods have shined on us. It's dry. I've got a lovely bit of road in the Cotswolds. I'll just knock myself out of gear there because my knee's in the way. I've got a Ferrari 308 GTS. It's a good day, people. It's a really good day. So my hope with these Hammer Time videos is to be able to share with you cars like this, experience, cars of my youth, dream cars, cars I'd never thought I'd ever get to drive on roads like this. Oh, listen to that, baby. And I think you'll agree that these two stunning Ferraris were a pretty good place to start. Now, some of the cars in Hammer Time will be cars that are about to go through the auction process and you'll actually be able to buy them yourself. These two, not so. This was so good, the owner of the market bought it for himself. And the Dino was that good, he rang up his mate, who happens to be my mate as well, and he bought it. Stunning, absolutely stunning, as is this road. Oh, it's more like it. Driving Nirvana. Do you know what? I'm just going to finish the video right there and just carry on driving. I hope you've enjoyed that one, guys. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come, and I'll see you on the next film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.